or I had a black screen. I just figured it out. Hello, everybody. With
G'day,
me
Jules. How
tonight,
are you?
I have my sister from another mister from the land down under. Everybody, this is Luna. Some of you guys
Hi.
probably know Luna. Some of you probably don't, but Luna is just one of those people that I happen to. I can't say by accident because I think as you walk your path through life, you might think there are happy accidents, but it's all part of a bigger scheme. So
It is.
it's morning for Luna. So how's your morning shaping up?
Okay, and I was just thinking I do all my streams in the morning. I look terrible in the morning. You do all your streams late at night. It's like
Oh, it's late at night here, and I look terrible at night. I've
yeah,
been I had the weekend off for a change, so I took advantage of it, did all my chores, and I've been listening to some music today. So this is just out of the shower headphone do.
your
But
hair always looks nice.
it is what it is. You know what they say, the difference between a bad hair day, just give it a couple of weeks and it'll even itself out.
That's it. Well, how's it going, Jake? Different. What's the difference between a bad haircut and a good haircut? Wait 1 week.
Yep, yep, absolutely.
So true. So, how you been, Jules? Like, thanks
I've
for
been
talking.
I've been good. This is kind of a very spur of the moment. It's been a long time coming, but coming in and trying to introduce something like the bitter and sweet, it takes time. There's no easy way to jump into it. But I just
True.
kind of had one of those self-reflecting moments this afternoon, and it was like, this is a good time. I mean, it's hard to describe, and this is one of those moments of bittersweet. And we all have them. I mean, it's what I would like to create a place here, and I can't say how often I'm going to be able to commit to it because, you know, life does have its things and things
Mhm.
happen from moment to moment. But I would like to have a place where people can come and just be themselves in this crazy chaos that's going on right now, just to be themselves and share and laugh and raise their vibration and push through the day, and or start their day on a good note or end their day on a good note.
I agree, Jules. I agree. And I love the name of your thing, bitter and the sweet, because life gives us that, these thorns in the roses. And we have to acknowledge them thorns. We don't have to pay 100% attention to them thorns because we all like smelling the nice roses. And that's what you're
Mhm.
supposed to be doing. But just be aware of the thorns. And every now and again, we do prick our finger, and it's good just to go, ouch. And that's why I like the bitter and the sweet, because we can say, gee, that flower smells good. Ouch, hang on a second.
Yeah,
Still.
it reminds me of one of those quotes. My brain, I have a habit of retaining stuff that doesn't seem pertinent or relevant at the moment. But one of my favorite quotes, not many people know this, one of my favorite quotes is from a book called Red Rowans and Wild Honey. It was written by Betsy White, and it's about a Scottish migrant worker. And the quote is, life is like red rowans and wild honey. You have to taste the bitter to appreciate the sweet.
You
Like
do.
red rowans and wild.
It's so true. That is so true. And that's what we're doing here, the bitter and the sweet.
Yep.
So, okay. Well, what do you want to start off with, the bitter or the sweet?
First, I see pollination. One
Yeah,
pollination is the first person ever on a proper bitter and sweet show introduction. However, these are going to pan out and flow. So, hello, Polly. Thanks for joining us. Happy Father's Day to you, brother.
oh, it's Father's Day over there, is it? Happy Father's Day, everybody. We have
Happy
ours on
Father's
Saturday.
Day too.
Happy Father's Day, everyone. Happy
Yeah,
Father's
bitter and sweet. I don't know where we start other
Day.
than everything. It's part of that. We frequently talk about duality, positivity, and negativity, and how things balance out. So it's like I was saying, it's been rather difficult with me trying to come up and figure out how I'm going to come in and introduce something like this. I mean, and there for a while, to be honest, there was part of me that's like just throw it under the mat. But now lately, the way things have shifted, the way the world's going, everything's just so super crazy, and
Mm,
the world needs a place like this.
mm-hmm.
More people need to know that they are loved, even if nobody has told them that.
That's right. That's so true, Jules. Even those people that have people around them may not necessarily feel loved, and they still need to know they're loved. And there's lots of love to go around. Share it
Yes,
freely. It
there
doesn't
is.
cost anything.
Oh, and I see, and looking at chat, Donnie has joined us too. Hey, Donnie.
Oh, hey, yeah, Madonna. Yeah, these last couple of years have been really hard for everybody. Um, I'm sure there's no one that hasn't been touched by what's happened in
Yeah.
some way, shape, or form. Um, and it's been a hard battle for all of us. And we have, I think you've come to a point where it's stopped you stand still. This is what happened to me, and it's happened to a few others that I know could have happened to you too, Jules. I just stood still and went, we need readjusting here. Some kind of readjusting that doesn't destroy who you are. You still got to be you and
Mhm.
adjust into what's happening. You can do it. Find it. Most of it is strengthening yourself because you're always the way you are. Just because what happened now is happening doesn't make any difference. Be who
Yeah.
you are more than ever. Be strong and bright. And you don't have to speak much. You don't have to do a show like we do. You just got to walk around in your light and be strong and bright. Um,
Yeah, and a couple of years ago was around that point in my life where I was going through some very, 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 very bitter. On top of the way the events of the world unfolded, losing the death of my mother, and meeting you and people like Polly and Donnie and all these wonderful people who have become brothers and sisters that I never had. It it, it helped me understand what it means to actually the differences between blood family and an extended family. And and it didn't take me long to come to the conclusion that blood makes you related, but love is what makes you a family.
yeah, and you got to remember before you come into a physical body, you had spiritual connection families. Then we all come down here and we're scattered around. We find each other. Some of them are actually in your family, and some of them aren't. Like if you've got someone like that in your family, you're so lucky. Because sometimes you can be the odd one out. How do I explain it better? So when you're born into a family. And most people are born in, like we were saying, we keep to the same family kind of thing. But
Mhm.
every now and again, you get a ring in, and we're usually the black sheep. We come from nowhere, and we just deposit ourselves in this family, and they know that we're a bit weird. We know we're a bit weird, and we don't quite fit in. We love them and all that, because they're our family. You grow up with them and all that, but you
Mhm.
kind of don't. Then you grow up and you go out in the world, and your spirit meets other people, and it's you have this connection, and it's like, where is this connection come from? I never met you before, but you'll find that if you take this life out of the equation and you go just into spirit and look at their spirit, you'll find you've known them in the spirit world before you come here, and you possibly have had another life with them. It's like we get missions and we all come down and do our mission, and we run into each other, and it's like, hey, I remember you before we come on the mission. And yeah, that's kind of how I see it anyway.
Yeah.
So I met someone like that once. She didn't recognise me though. We were at this lady invited me over, and they were older ladies, and we were eating. And as we were getting our food, she stood next to me, and I turned around. I looked at her, and she seemed so familiar to me. I just wanted to grab her. She was a stranger. I didn't want to embarrass her or me, so I actually didn't grab her and give her a hug. I just said, gee, it's good to see you again. And she looked at me, and I could see that she didn't make the connection. But for me, I saw the connection, and I just let it go. It was just one night with her kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, and that was it. Next life, see you when I get back upstairs. But that's what it's like. And if you listen to your heart and spirit, it speaks louder than our mind. And that's where the confusion comes in. Your heart and spirit saying one thing, your head's going, no, this, and then you end up confused. So, anyway, I'm raving now.
No, you're actually you're good because we're
Sorry,
I was
sorry.
trying to. I discovered that I had chat open, and now I can. I had like two sentences in my head, and I couldn't separate them. So whatever I just typed looks all mumbled and jumbled. But what I
Yeah,
was trying to say is, I love all you beautiful people, and I hope you're having a good evening.
it's hard to drive and do the show at the same time.
Hey,
That's one of
I'm
my
even surprised. At this point, the tech gods have been rather kind to me today. At this point, I cannot complain. I'm online. I'm like using StreamYard for the very first time, and I had no hiccups. I'm able to see chat. I was able to add us to the screen. So whatever this vibe is right now, the tech gods are being good with me. But I did want to talk about the show that you did. Well, I helped you with a little
we did.
on trees. That was very fun and very informative. And
Um,
there's still so much information out there yet to be uncovered.
yeah, there is, and I'll do a bit more research proper, and I'll get a bit more information. I just got to pick my next thing. But what I found with them subjects, they always come back somehow. Like talk about giant trees and food. You can be talking about something else that's going to giants are going to come back in it somewhere. Um, it's like this cycle thing. They're all on the same board, no matter what you're
You
talking
know, it's kind of like if you think of like all what occulted history, hidden knowledge, that kind of how that folds into conspiracy a little bit. It's like a cycle. It's like an onion. It's there. It's just a layer that peels back, but it's still there. No matter how you try to get away from it, everything always has a way of coming back with something new. Like giants, for instance. Giants are one of those things that they're connected with so much, and people don't talk about them. They should give them more of a look throughout history. I mean, once giants were a myth, but with every myth, there's potentially a nugget of truth.
about. That's
So
right.
with that nugget of truth, I mean, if giants were from the Nephilim, I mean, it's just and it all like there's so much to uncover. And
There is.
I'm just having fun along the way doing my research and finding out what I find out and seeing where it fits in with what's going on right now and how current events or current times.
Hey, you know what we didn't do, Jules? We didn't introduce ourselves. I'm so bad at that. I do a show, I do in real life when I do
Well,
talks
I
and
I
presentations.
introduced you, and
This
it's
is
my
Jules of the
show, and I'm not going to
Flame.
introduce myself.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bitter and the Sweet. This is Jules of the Flame, your hostess of Bitter and Sweet. I'm Luna.
Yes, and Luna is the hostess of Luna.
Of Luna. Yeah, my show's called Luna. I did have other names, but I had to change my computer and change everything on, and I just got Luna. So
Well,
that's my
take a
name.
pro tip from me. Part of my struggle getting here was in my grand scheme of plans trying to identify things. I created another Google account, and I didn't have any kind of picture or anything to distinguish what account was what. So those first few times we were trying to come on and do something here, I had StreamYards, but it was logged into the wrong email.
It happens. Yeah. Yeah, I have all sorts of problems. It's like a tech um, ghost in a way, and it comes in and I've seen it happen to everybody. if everything will be going fine, they'll do another show and bang, it'll just be tech problems. And it's like, ha, tech goes gotcha.
No,
It
I
seems to
mean,
be right.
considering us 2 years ago and how we fumbled, we've come a long way.
A couple of years ago, you, me, and Donnie were so not good at doing anything. We type with one finger and everything. And here we are, look. And we were trying to get Donnie on, but he has mic problems. But we're going to sort that out. And I'm going to ring you, Donnie. Sorry. So where were we? Okay, the bitter and the sweet, like we said, this couple of years have been
Yeah,
really rough. We need to land on our feet like cats.
yep.
And be ready because it hasn't finished. But there's beautiful things coming. We've got to believe in the beautiful things and give that the power.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
imagine, I was looking at it yesterday and I realised I can't actually imagine the beautiful things coming because where we are now, we're a bit in the mud and it's hard to imagine such beautiful things that are going to come, but they're coming. I know, I can feel them. I felt them coming for years now. I'm getting a bit impatient. Bit impatient.
Yeah, I do. I feel like there's something on the horizon, but once that's done, then everything's gonna, it'll be a beautiful place.
It
Kind of
really
in a
will.
way, kind of in a sense that you would say the veil's been thinning and it can only get so thin before it's transparent and you can kind of see some of the stuff on the other side. And I hope unicorns come back.
Ah, well,
unicorns, unicorns and dragons and all those cryptids on the other side.
I was actually looking at some pictures the other day. I think I showed you to them before. Remember them weird pictures from a long time ago?
Mhm.
And unicorns are in it, heaps of unicorns, and their horns, I think they killed them all because their horns held something and they killed them for their horns. And they,
Their horns were rumored to be magic.
yeah.
I mean, I've often heard the phrase "lucky unicorn horn,"
Oh, I've never heard that.
and I mean,
Oh,
and I wonder if people didn't hunt them and kill them and make wands out of unicorn horn, like a
oh,
magic wand. I mean, you have all these like the Harry Potter influence. All
yeah.
those wands were made of hawthorn and all those trees that wasn't on the show. But after we did your tree show, I found an article that had 13 different Celtic trees and their associations, and hawthorn was one of them.
Wow.
And I mean, I remember reading those Harry Potter books, and there was one of those wizards who had a hawthorn wand.
Wand. You know, when I did the tree show the other day, I was going to tell you something, but I didn't say it. When I was a little girl, I was told that them giant trees, certain ones had magic in them, like you were saying. But what the magic was they could teleport. So you could stand, you could use, I don't know how they did it, but the way they showed me was even after they cut them down, they showed me after they cut it down. So they cut it down and there was a stump, a really big stump. You could still stand on that stump and it would still teleport you. I found no evidence to support this, but and when I was young, I didn't even know there were still giant tree stumps and stuff like remnants left. Um, so, but that's what they said. And talking about using magic wands and wooden trees having magic, obviously it must have been somehow. If something like this from a tree can hold
Mhm,
magic, why
mhm.
can't a whole tree stump hold magic as well? That's what I thought. And why can't it have the molecular structure to teleport? Yeah, anyway, that was something I didn't add on the show. I wanted to put it the other day, but got
Well,
it.
trees are living beings. I mean, it seems like they would be able to possess the capability of magic. I mean, there are rocks that are magical that are found that
Mm-hmm.
like the Chiringa stone and all those rocks that oh, they're on the tip of my tongue. Our ancient ancestors, the
Well, you got them gateways overseas that they reckon are portal style. things. They're made of stone, or were they? Were they made of wood and got petrified? See, we don't know. If they were made of wood and got petrified, they would stick into the story that I was told about that particular tree. But if they were made of stone, the stones have it as well. That's right. They made them of that particular stone that had that particular vibration that responded to whatever it was to open the door.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stones have magical properties. The crystal skulls,
Yep,
the philosopher's stone.
yep.
And that was the Kabbalah and the alchemists trying to figure out how with their alchemy.
Then, and it brings to mind, why does the Queen and royalty, they all wear stones all over them? Because them stones have that, well, you can call it magic, but certain vibrations, so you make certain vibrations to bring on certain energies. It's been well known for a long time, just not to the populace. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I mean, in our circles, we know, in New Age circles, I'm sure they know the crystals. They have magical properties. I mean, certain stones, like if you put amethyst by your bedside, it helps with peaceful dreams. Just things
mhm.
like that. I mean, if stones can do it and have that where they help you raise your vibration, trees are magical. They can do the same.
Yeah. Do you know
So,
what the first tree was? We should have put this show on the end of my tree show, because I'm got more information now. I hate that. That's why I've raised information 2 days later. What? The first trees were ferns. I love ferns. I absolutely love ferns. They were the first trees. So I'm kind of thinking, what come first, the rock or the tree? There are people. What come first, the rock or the tree? Were there trees first? They got petrified in the rocks, or were there rocks and trees? Do you know?
well,
Who knows?
I was reading about the the book that I was reading, that I'm still reading, wonderful book called The Stage of Time. I'm about three-quarters of the way through. But there's made ref we were talking about the tree of knowledge the other night.
Yep.
And I put two and two together, and it's been baffling me for a long time. And I say I put two and two together, but I don't have any proof. I speculate. This is a time that I call out the Johnny boat to take a trip to Speculation Island, because I speculate that in the zodiac of Aquarius, the man pouring water. I've been
Mm.
reading. What I've been reading about is um, Sumerian cuneiform tablets, origins of man, stuff like that. But Enki was the guy, the deity of the water,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think he's the one who poured the knowledge, who is the one depicted in the zodiac. I'm not going to talk anymore, other than that's what I think who that person is in the zodiac, because he was the one who gave us wisdom and knowledge to humankind.
Well,
He
no,
he
one
like
of them, they were brothers, eh? One of them liked us and one of them didn't.
yes.
They reckon their children, some of us are Enlil's children and some of us are Inky's children. They reckon that we can tell and we arc up at each other. We don't get on at all. It made so much sense to me when I found that out,
Yeah.
because you go out in the world and it's like, how come I get on really great with you and I don't get on with you? Where do you come from? Yeah, that's why they reckon.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, that
you
makes
know when we talk, Jules, and you tell me about all that stuff, and I go, "You're confusing me. You're confusing me."
it's
Uh,
okay. It's confusing by itself.
yeah, I'm starting to figure it out. But from what I figured, Cain and Abel, is it Cain and Abel, the firstborns of Adam and Eve? There was a good and a bad. They're like Enki and Enlil. See how the story just gets repeated?
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
does, because I'm reading this and I'm finding, and I'm thinking that the Ajiji are the archangels. I can't
Right.
say for positive or not, because there's so much information in here, and over the course of years I've picked up and I've stored so much information. So it's just one of those that it is what it is. I mean, I'm just grateful for people like you that I can come and bounce my crazy ideas off of. And Roxy, do you want to say hello to the world?
Yeah, hello,
Hello,
baby.
world. My name is Roxy.
Oh, mine are in. Got left outside last night because they stayed
Oh,
out too late and come in, and they're really tired today. They're just laying around here, really, really tired. It was freezing outside the pool, and I went to bed early, so I didn't even know. What were we talking about? Oh, Enkin and Lil, yeah. Cain and Abel, same kind of thing. Um, yeah, we don't have all that. We got, and for those that don't know me, I'm a light-skinned First Nations Aboriginal woman, Australian Aboriginal woman, and we have a different story altogether. Kind of similar, but not as confusing.
I if you have time, I would love to hear it because
um,
well, I know that what I've learned with this book is that Inky wasn't necessarily evil. He was associated as the serpent, and throughout history, it's always been a battle of the eagle versus the serpent.
yeah,
So, and I believe that Australians, the natives, they believe in the rainbow serpent.
mm-hmm, yep, yeah, and we got a lot of things with snakes. We got lots of totems, but yeah, the rainbow serpent is the major one, and the serpent they reckon it's feathered like it's got colours all over it, but the colours are like in bands, like the spectrum in bands. Yeah, there's a lot to be said about that. Um, it comes in the water, it comes in the land, and isn't it one of the South American axolotl? What's that guy's name? I don't. This is because I don't know much history about the rest of the world. What's that guy? They reckon he was like a rainbow serpent in Mexico or something, but he was a bad dude.
Quetzalcoatl?
Yeah, that's it. Wasn't he feathered serpent kind of too, something
Yes.
like that? Yeah. Um, but you don't know what stories are true. They always say bad things about, the winners always say bad things about the other people. Snakes have got a really bad rap. Uh,
Well, in my opinion, snakes got a bad rap with the introduction of Christianity.
but yet they use snakes in the healing, and Moses or whatever who it was threw the snake and
Yeah, the
they
Caduceus.
use their own shit. They're going, they're bad, but we can use them. That's the confusing part. You got to see through the BS.
Yeah, well,
Um,
with what you're talking about with the caduceus, with the snakes going up the staff,
yeah, that's it.
that was an ancient symbol before the corruption of the serpent,
Right, right.
when they were viewed as good and they were wise and they were beneficial, and then medicine came around right around the time, and that's a whole topic for another time. But
Yeah,
pharmakia is a very interesting
yeah,
topic to research because that's where modern medicine starts. But yeah, that snakes weren't always bad.
no,
They were so highly regarded that that's why that they were made the medical symbol of the caduceus that you see on ambulances and hospitals because of their importance at the time to society. Those people who worship them or recognize them, they actually were the good. They saw the good in it. And then whatever happens, his story is written, and around the time pre-Christianity, that's when things started to corrupt the serpent, and he was seen deemed evil and bad and unjust when really he's not. I mean, it was an eye opener for me, understanding that not all things are evil. It's the human will and the human intent, and where you put your energies make it that way.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I find that with a lot of the critters here in Australia, like the spiders and all the critters we've got. we're not really. Or some people are scared, and they'll see a spider on the other side of the room and go ah, and start screaming and carrying on. It's like 4 feet away, 5 feet away. It's not going to jump on you.
It only depends on how big the spider is.
Still, yeah, it's a really big one like that. Yeah, you got a point. But you don't often see big spiders like that.
Well,
But yeah,
that's true because of all the pictures. It's true because all the pictures that I've seen of everything in Australia, it's huge. It's bigger than the average. Like, everything's on. It's either super cute and tiny, or it's massive and it's on steroids.
yeah, it's either really little or really big. Same for the people. They're either really
All
big.
that is appropriately sized. And I don't dare mess with one of those red kangaroos. I've seen them pictures.
No.
They're like built better than most of the men that I see at the gym that I
Yeah,
know. It's like definitely the kangaroo wins the award for most buffest animal.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, then they can move quite fast. They're beautiful. Yeah, that's the males. You got to watch out for them. The women are still big, but they're not as buff as the males. You got to watch out for them males. Yeah, that's funny.
So if I ever get to Australia, then if I end up in a fight with a kangaroo, please let it be a female kangaroo.
Yeah, and I say to people, the Bible Jesus only got here 233 years ago. You know, for us, we never heard of him. Or see, the thing is, we traded with other people. We knew spiritual people from other places because our people are very spiritual. We knew healers and that from other places. But none of this is told. See, I don't know how it would change history if everybody knew that, hey, we were here the whole time singing along, all that stuff was happening to you. We got like half of what happened to you. Like when it flooded, we didn't actually flood. It just got really wet here and rained a bit. We just had to move out. Never got massively flooded out. We probably got some waves here and there, but not like the water's come and gone many, many times. And now people just see the cycles over all the years that our people have been here, thousands of years. These cycles. Some are small, some are big. There's cycles within cycles. And when everything that's going on, we just see it as another cycle. It's not like, oh, it's the first time it's been here and it's new. It's like, no, actually, how does it look?
I mean, well, in the grand scheme of things, it really is just another cycle. I mean, we're still kind of moving in. Astrologically speaking, we're still transitioning into the age of Aquarius. I mean, there's still going to be chaos and turmoil because it's still that cycle is so slow when it ticks over. I mean, it's gonna take 100 years or so for it to fully happen. So
my spirit remembers when it was the other way around, and we were going into Leo, and Aquarius was on the other side, and now we've come all that way. Something in me remembers that, and now we're here at the other end. The shoe's on the other foot. But it's been a bumpy transition, and you can look at it any way you want, whether you look at it planetary, earth-wise, it doesn't matter which way you look at it, it's been a bumpy transition.
Yep.
But we'll be okay. We're doing it. We're still here.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see what's coming. Trying to figure out all the books that have been written, like the Bible, Enki and Enlil, and the half a dozen other literatures, what describe the past, trying to sync them all together and actually figure out a straight story isn't easy.
No, it's not. It's not an easy story because once you start reading and then you realize that it's like, wait a minute, that sounds so familiar because you'll be reading about the Greeks, you'll be reading about the Egyptians, and you'll be like, wait a minute, that's Isis. Ishtar, that's Isis. I mean, it's the same cast, just in a different pantheon.
Yes, that's what I noticed from the way down here looking up.
Even in Christianity, it's even with Christianity, there's remarkable similarities.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, there are truths in these things. It's just the way they've done it and mixed it all up that confuses you.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's getting back to the point that I originally started with. It's like there is a little bit of truth in a nugget of mystery, in a nugget of myth as well.
yeah.
So
I
it's
heard something
just
the other day. They said, look out in the world, whatever they give you, usually it's the opposite. The truth is the opposite. Like when they tell you stuff like they found this and they're doing this and they're doing that, they've been into space or they found this in a mountain or whatever. A lot of it they reckon sift through it and turn it around a bit and then you'll find the truth. So if they say we found this in a mountain, they probably found it in the sea. They say we found this in the sea, that we found it in a cave. They probably found it laying on top of the ground or in some jungle. Who knows? But you've got to really
it's always a cave.
you've got to,
We found these ancient old scrolls in a cave.
yeah.
We found this character terrorist about 20 years ago in a cave. It's always a cave.
Yeah, and it's always a temple or a burial ground. It's
Cave.
never what it is. It's always, oh, this was a temple for prayers, or this is a burial ground, or this is a war place. It's never nothing else. Not, oh, hang on, could this be somewhere where people just lived? you know, could this be the way they lived and part of what they live? Yeah, you got to think outside the box.
Yeah, probably
But
just
I don't
buried
think they
in
can hide
a
it for too much longer. They can't hide things for too much longer. It's like the earth spitting them up. You know what I mean? It's for all of
yeah.
us to. So, yeah,
Well,
it's pretty.
there's I mean all one has to do is just read through look at news articles and figure out how many of them are like, oh, this is an opinion piece or this is just a fiction piece. But the way that it's all packaged now, it's made to be completely believable.
Yep. Yeah, they know how to write a story. They've been doing it for ages. They know how to write a story. But and I don't think things will go the way they want them to, because it never does. No, nothing ever goes away. Anyone wants it to. There's always these extra things that come in. So it's going to be interesting. Hold on tight and watch them thorns.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if they point a wand at you, ask what kind of wood it's made from.
Yeah. So do you reckon there's inner Earth, Jules? Like we kind of, the big discussion now, is it flat, is it round? And I'm saying, okay,
Well,
make your decision and then decide what's underneath it, what's inside it.
I'm in the camp, and I'm gonna say yes
Yeah, I do. And
because I haven't read all of the Emerald tablets, but it mentions the halls of the Mente, and from reading it and looking at it, I think that's referring to the halls of the Mente.
underneath, yeah, so
I mean,
I
also everybody's so preoccupied with UFOs and craft and everything coming from above. They aren't here. They're underneath. They're underneath.
so you got to even it out. If you look up, you got to look down, right? If you look down,
Yeah.
you got to look up, because if you ain't looking up and down,
I mean, and then there are like the Hopi, the ant people, that they were told to go underground when
yeah,
before cataclysm hits.
yeah, 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 that's true. And that's a cycle in itself.
I mean, I
When
definitely believe that it's possible for underground. I mean, there are all these rumored underground bases, and we know all these tunnels that Captain.
we
I
got
mean,
them here, we got,
he has shown us. He has pointed us in the direction of a lot of interesting things.
we
Just
got
that
underground tunnel.
was just often overlooked. That brilliant minds came together, put pieces with pieces, and then yeah, that's highly probable that that did happen. So with all those tunnels and all the underground bases, I'm sure. Yeah, I would lean more in the yes because if there's nothing there, why keep investing? Why keep putting
Yeah,
resources in
true, yeah, true. And I reckon, how the old world, they call those big buildings they had, People call it Tartaria, but I think it was bigger than that. I think it was just the times, the times that they were in, the big buildings that had the alternative energy. They had underground travelling. They had tunnels that went underground. They travelled like little trains underground and stuff. They had
Hmm.
stuff under there, and a lot of it, some of it is still here today with underground trains. We don't really have them here, much underground trains, but we have places where our people don't go because they're caves and they lead underground, and we're told not to go there because there's all manner of things there. It's none of our business,
Hmm.
and we stay away. But I know I've been to them places, and I felt it, man. I know there's things in there, and they're connected all over the world. And the old world that I was talking about with the old buildings and that, I reckon they knew and they lived in harmony with the above and the below.
I don't have proof because I haven't been there in this lifetime, in this incarnation, but all the information that I've read and I've come across lead me to believe that we were created with powers,
Yep.
not like and things. We had that ability where we were created as gods, where we could ascend. And then and that's where for me reading the Stage of Time has helped me understand that a little, because for there were bits and pieces that were missing. And so far, the biggest thing that I have taken from this book that helped me piece together, we came here, we were created in God's image, in God's image, Inky's image, and we had that ability to ascend. And Lil did not like it, and he came along and he messed up our the DNA that we shared with them, messed up. He unaligned our chakras, calcified our third eye to keep us in this perpetual third dimension.
Yep.
We are so much capable, so much more than just ordinary people. We are walking miracles. I mean, we are so much more than what we perceive ourselves to be. And we have that ability to raise our vibration and move and get a higher frequency. I mean,
I
that we've had that ability, and they've dumbed us down to where we don't even discover things about ourselves, let alone our neighbor, our friend, our community.
and they're doing it again right now. Oh, the possum just fell off. They're doing it again right now, without people, with people's agreement, and they're mucking around with them again. And what I see in the future is they're going to erase even more history and make up their own and tell the future kids this is how it was, and they're going to believe it. And that's how they do it. They get your kids, they fill them full of stories and stuff, omit certain truths, so they believe that it was actually like this. So when all those old people are gone, that remember how it actually was, the and we're subject to that too, but it's only now that we're realising, hang on, there's more than to it than this. Something like the world's starting to wake up. Us, there were a lot of individuals out there. We knew that there was more than this when we were kids, but there are those out there that didn't, and they're only just starting to wake up now. And they're tricks that they play on us. Because how many times I've seen old books that tell the truth, and they've like, you're lucky to see an old book like that that tells the truth compared to the lies they tell you today. But it's not mass presented, so people don't know, and it's
Well,
only us individuals.
they don't, clearly they don't want us to know. That's why they burned all those books years ago. They still, I mean, even now, even present time, they burn books.
Yes, they do. And the stuff they want our kids to read now, it's like, what? I've never really been a book reader, and I haven't even read the Bible because I'm not a book reader.
I can't say that I have read the Bible. I mean, I had my battles with religion. I will profess that I did not grow up with much religion. It was the one thing that was kind of that I was just harped on by my parents. And you know, when you're young and somebody tells you that you better do this, you really don't want to do it. And that's how
Yeah,
it was with me with religion. It was crammed down me. I didn't It was forced on me, so the more I rebelled. And I haven't ever read the complete Bible, but in the past several years, I've taken to the histories of the Bible and the stories that the Bibles tell, and not for the religious aspect, but the historical aspect. Okay, this probably could have happened. And then again, it goes back. It's the same stories that I've heard in other pantheons, but this one's biblical.
yeah,
So there's some kind of truth in it, but what version of the truth is it?
yeah, yeah,
So I mean, I don't fret too much time over it, because I mean, we're all miracles. I mean, what's not more to appreciate and be grateful for? I mean, we're more than a biological computer with a sack of cholesterol in our forehead operating our body.
here we are. Yeah,
So,
with the Bible, what was I going to say? Oh, religion. Yeah, when I was a kid, I looked at religion upstairs, said, check it out. I realized there were all these different religions, and I realized that they all preached love and peace and love your brothers and sisters and respect everything. And I thought that's good. And then I realized they did that up until a point where only if it's not another religion. So
hmm
they'll love you and all that like a
hmm
brother or a
you can
sister.
you can
If
do
you're a
this,
different
this, this,
religion, that's a different
but
that's
this.
a case
You can
altogether.
do this, but this. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's like spirituality is the way to go. Be true to yourself and be true with the creator.
yeah. And love your brother and sister no matter what they
Absolutely.
believe. You don't have to live with them. You know, they don't have to be in your face every day. Hopefully they're not.
Yeah.
But that's their way. Let it do. If it works for them, let them do it until they know otherwise.
Yep.
Um, but Creator told me that the Bible was written in our hearts. Them instructions that we all want from Creator, they're written in here. And I got this saying, looky here, looky there, looking everywhere. Oh, we forgot to look in here, didn't we? Because that's where all the answers are. And that's what I saw religion as. It's like go outside yourself and look for the answers. Well, hang on. Don't you think Creator sent us down here with everything we need? I
hmm
think so. And you look inside, and often people say, "Oh, that's in the Bible." When I'll say something, and I think, well, that's a proof that it's in your heart.
hmm
And it's not just the Bible. I haven't read other religious books either, like the Muslim one or anything. I've talked to people from that religion about it. I've talked to many people about their
hmm
religions, but I haven't read their books. But I presume they're all similar. They
Yeah.
all have
I mean, I
similarities.
have numerous friends that I speak with other religions that I speak with them about. I mean, I haven't read their book, but to be fair, I haven't read my book either.
Yeah, our people didn't have that. We're oral people, and our books were written on stone, and most of them were menus, what was in the
Are
area, what you could
are
eat.
are a lot of those stones still around?
Yeah, a lot of them are. A lot of them are in national parks and they're protected. There's a lot that have been destroyed. Like Donny, if Donny had a mic, he could tell you here. He goes out and checks out sites before they come and build stuff. And everyone who does that job finds so much stuff, they just put it in a container and haul it away. They don't go, stop work. This place is a really important place. It's got all this stuff here and it's got heaps of knowledge and everything. We need to
Mhm.
study that. They don't do that. They go, okay, dig it up, put it in a container, put it in the museum, keep building. But they forget it's not the artifact on its own that's important. It's where it is on the land and the trees and the water that's there and the whole thing together is what's
Mhm.
important. Yeah, and they don't treat it with respect, unfortunately. But we haven't got a Bible as to say, but actually, come to think of it, how yeah, ours is verbal, ours is just in us. Like yeah, I don't know how to explain that. I've Never had to explain it before.
I mean,
But
this is just typical. Anybody listening now or listening in the future, this is just like a typical conversation for us. I mean, we could have talked about eyebrow laminations.
oh my god,
I mean, this is
that
just,
was
I
funny.
mean, me and Luna,
Laminate your
we
eyebrows.
tick so well that there's nothing off topic, and this is just unfortunately how the conversation unfolded.
Laminate your eyebrows. People are probably thinking, what's that? That's what we thought. What's laminating eyebrows? Yeah, so our history, like our important stuff, is written on rocks. Donnie knows a place where it tells you who was made, who, like, what creator made, and it's written all on the rock. The humans, the animals, the in-betweens, the others, what I call, they're all written on this rock forever for us to see. So I think that's a good way to go.
Yeah.
In rock, they say we did have a language once, but we found that there was no need for a written language. But it was really no need for it when we speak it and remember it, and it's in all our beings. That's a better way,
Yeah.
But
Throughout the course of time and civilizations, language, I never actually thought much about it, but there is language. There was an evolution of language.
yeah, I can't remember exactly how many languages we spoke here, but there were hundreds of them. And most people would speak 3 languages, so you'd be able to speak to the mobs next to you. You had your own language and 2 others because they were the mobs next to you, and they're the people that you lived with. Like, they're the ones that your kids married. They're the ones that that's how it was. So we spoke 3 languages, most
That
people.
makes perfect sense.
Yeah, or Aboriginal dialect, like original dialect. A lot of them are missing. I had the luck, the fortune, the pleasure of sitting down with some elders. They all spoke 3 languages, and they would just be blah 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 blah. I didn't understand half of what they said. They did take time out to explain it, but to remember all them words in one day, it's like impossible.
Wow, my head would have exploded.
I just sat there and just sucked it all in. I just went, Spirit, take note of all this, because this little brain wouldn't be able to do it. But that was a real pleasure, honour, to sit with them and hear them speak. And they even said they get lonely because there's no one else to speak to unless they talk to someone that knows the language. They're talking to themselves, right? So that was kind of sad to know that. But now we got language in, they're starting to teach language in university, and you can go and learn at Wiradjuri and Gamilaroi. Brother Donnie knows a bit of Gamilaroi. My family, I don't personally, I know a little bit, but my mum and brother can speak Wiradjuri and Gamilaroi. That's our mob, by the way, 2 different mobs. Yeah, so there are some languages that made it, but there's a lot that died out in the event. As I presume for the rest of the world, there's languages that have died out. I know in other countries, I think like in Korea and Germany and that, they have different language, like they're all Korean and all German, but they've got different languages.
Yeah, even like I'm by no means am I an expert, but I know like even in China you have different dialects. Like you might have Cantonese or Mandarin.
Yeah, and they all live in the same country. Yeah, so we were like that too. Like that, we had actually hundreds and hundreds more because there were so many of us. This land was actually full up when Mr. Cook came. Full up enough for everyone to survive, Now it's full up and no one can survive. Yeah, in 234 years, they destroyed everything. But that's all right. It'll come back.
It will. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
our civilization, I have a distinct feeling
It'll come
our
back.
empire is collapsing.
And how many times have we dug up stuff in the middle of the bush or something, and they're gone, oh, look, there was a civilization here. That will be us one day. We'll all be overgrown, and someone will dig us up and go, oh, look, there was a civilization here. They had computers and plastic and money and slavery and
Yeah, I mean, plastic. it was like one of the most ingenious inventions of the time, way back when in the 50s. It was featured in the House of the Future, the House of the Future, when Disneyland opened in the 50s, and it was a
Oh, yeah,
Monsanto product. They invented plastic with one of the things that they did, and throughout the course of time, plastic has become useful, but it doesn't biodegrade or anything. I mean, it's useful, but it's also like one of the worst things we ever invented.
it is. It is. And I wonder if they invented anything like some sort of polymer in the past, um, and it got melted because fire is the only way to really get rid of it, is to melt it down, but it's still there. Um, yeah, plastic should be banned. When they made plastic and realised, hang on, it doesn't break down, we should ban this. It's bad for the earth. Before we even moved on
Yeah,
to anything.
I mean, logically, people like us in our frame of thought, we would think that, but the reason why they didn't is because it still makes money. It's too big of a profit for people who have to have the wealth and the control and the power.
I remember my mum telling me when she was a young woman, they used to have silk stockings, and there were hemp products, and they used natural stuff, cotton, hemp, silk. Oh, no, hardly not as much cotton, but mostly hemp, silk, and stuff like that. Anyway, she tells me when the war came, they used all the silk for the parachutes, so they gave them paint, like makeup for their legs, and they had this makeup, and they put the makeup on, and they'd draw the line up their legs with a darker colour makeup, and that's what they wore until nylon stockings come out, and they started making nylon, and then they started wearing nylon stockings, and I would never wear them because they were horrible. They felt horrible. Your legs couldn't breathe, and I'm brown anyway, so I could get away with it. It
Hmm.
looked like wearing stockings anyway.
Well, I mean,
Um,
nylon wasn't the only bad fabric that was ever created. I mean, polyester. I mean, it was convenient, no iron or anything, but it has a chemical in it that breaks that petroleum base that breaks down over time.
and I realised the other day that as time goes by, you can go to the shop, and most of everything you buy clothing wise has some form of synthetic stuff in it. Like it might be cotton, but it might have synthetic stitching, or
Yeah.
and I realised shit, it's everywhere. It's so mass produced now, it's not funny anymore.
No,
Um,
I mean it's all everything. It's all commercialized, capitalized. Somebody's making profit off of it.
yeah, and that'll come to an end because you can only go so far. You know, you can only go so far before everything starts to run out, and which where we're at now. I think they're kind of intentionally do it. I realised the other day, I thought, all right, because years ago I thought, what would it take to fix the world? And I thought, oh, hang on, we've got to stop using plastic and like toothbrushes and stuff like that. How many toothbrushes? No, God, I thought, man, the millions of plastic toothbrushes. You know, can't we go back to something more better or invent something better? And what was I going to say? Yeah, so I looked at the whole world and how much stuff we use, and it's us. If we didn't said no, we're not buying plastic toothbrushes, and everyone stopped buying plastic toothbrushes, they won't make them anymore.
Yeah, it's like I remember. I mean, even like since just going back to like the mid '80s, when in the '70s, when you went to the local store, the local market, and you bought your soda, you brought your bottles back because it was a deposit off your drink.
I remember that. Yeah.
So that was a good way to repurpose a bottle, reuse it,
Wow.
and still keep product moving. And then I remember in the '80s when glass bottles came out for soft drinks. And then it just seemed like magic, like instantaneously the plastic soda bottle came in.
Yeah. And
And
I,
that was even after the Tupperware craze. The plastic soda
oh,
bottle,
oh
and
my,
then the plastic that came in, and then and then the plastic shopping bag. We used to carry our own bags to the store to load groceries in, and now those bags are everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I still reuse them. I mean, for litter box purposes.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I go to the shops and I tell them, when I was a kid, we used our own bags. We brought our own bags. Then you told us not to use them. Now you're telling us to use them again. What are we listening to you for?
Well, because now, I mean, if we want to bring our own, because now there are places here in Virginia that tax 5 cents a bag if you go to a shop and you use one of the bags. For every bag you take is an extra 5 cents, extra
Yeah,
nickel.
well, here you got to buy them. If you want a bag, you got to buy it if you didn't bring your own. And you go through the checkout with the rest of your stuff. You should just bring your own. It's easier. Um, yeah, I kind of always had my own bag because that's the way I was brought up. Take your own shopping bag.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I mean. We went all the way out here just to come back to
Yeah, it's like we invented plastic as a way to help us modernize, simplify lives, not thinking long term the repercussions of it. And it's it's the Tupperware, the Gladware, all these plastic bags, the shopping bags that are contributing so much to our landfills, but also around the 70s, that's when you had Pampers and the diaper industry, Pampers.
oh yeah, yeah.
Because
Oh
I mean, eh, prior before that, there was an actual diaper service where everybody wore cloth diapers.
yes, we had it. I know all about that, Jules, because my first four kids, I washed them cloth nappies. I soaked them, washed them, hung them out. I did that. At the fourth child and the fifth child was coming, I got down on my hands and knees and said, "Mother, please forgive me, but I can't do this." It's hard work. And we didn't have diaper services unless you were, well, we call them nappies here. You didn't have them services unless you were well off. So all us poor people had to wash our own. And at first, I only used disposables when I went out because it was better than carrying a cloth poopy nappy around with you. And then when the last one came, I literally used it all the time. So yes, I'm guilty. And that proves, Jules, that it's us doing it. It's our laziness that's making all this pollution. They're manufacturing it, but we're the ones using it. If we didn't use it, they wouldn't manufacture it. So that's why I asked for forgiveness when I used them plastic nappies. If I was young again, I would probably use cloth nappies. I
Well, I
probably
mean,
would.
I mean, I don't fault you for it. I mean, it's just as time floats on and more technology comes to the masses, comes available to us. I mean, that was like a busy time. I mean, your time in any given day, you have X amount of things that you want to accomplish during the day, and not spending hours and hours and hours doing laundry just for one thing. If it helps simplify time here, then that's more time you can spend with your children doing something else.
True.
So I mean, it's a trade. They're in there somewhere. There's a trade off.
Yeah, a middle part. Yeah, I agree. And I think we're moving back towards that middle part in all areas, I like to think.
Yeah, I mean, I can a lot of things. I feel like we're going to be transitioning back into old ways, or or doing things the old-fashioned way again.
Yeah,
That
yeah, a nice medium.
that could potentially be one of the things. I mean, with so many economies and all the inflation, because it's not just in America. I've been looking. It's everywhere with all this inflation and everything that's going.
Our food
People, I
prices.
mean, people are gonna have to decide if they're gonna eat, if they're gonna do their laundry, or where they're gonna cut corners at.
Yeah,
Diapers, if they're not stocked on the shelves, then you're going to be going back to the old fashioned diaper service anyway.
yeah. And for anyone that's in trouble and they need them right now, you just get an old towel, sew the edges up. There, cut them into little nappies, you're done.
Yeah.
It's that easy. Yeah, we just got lazy, I think. And in getting
Yeah,
lazy, we
I
took
think I
out
think
of everything.
technology in many ways made us lazy.
Yeah,
We were, oh, I can do this now right here. I just think technology kind of, if it didn't outright make us lazy, it kind of definitely gave us a shove in that direction.
yeah, it did. I believe so. So, yeah. Oh, I got
So
a Gillowa. I got Gillowa, man. Can I take 2 seconds out?
yeah,
Okay, I'll be right back. Thank you.
go
Don't,
for it.
yeah, don't tell them what.
So Yamadani, how are you tonight? I can't see you, but I see you in chat. Hopefully you're well and having a good Father's Day. Or is it yesterday? Or do you guys even celebrate, recognize Father's Day today? Well, then, yay, happy Father's Day. I'll drop you a link if you want to come join us. And there you go. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. It's been it's been good catching up with Luna. It's been a hot minute since we've caught up like this. It's been a fun chat, and it just kind of led where it went. Like I said, we talk about everything. So I would play you guys some tunes, but I don't want any like copyright strikes or anything. So tunes are out, and you surely don't want me to sing for you.
Sorry about that. It's old age and me bladder can only answer much. So, yeah, I don't like talking about politics or anything much like
No,
that.
no. I mean, like I'm saying, I came here to not introduce you necessarily, but to just like spend some time with you and have a yarn. And
Yeah.
this is just how our conversation unfolded tonight.
It's really an introduction to the bitter and the sweet.
Yes, there's lots of bitter going around, and I want to make it. I can't say I want to make it entirely sweet, but I want a place where people can
Mm.
go to.
And,
A nice.
yeah, not everyone's happy all the time, but if you speak out what's making you unhappy, it
Yeah,
goes away because you've got it out. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, so yeah. And
yep,
if
yep.
Johnny had a speaker, he could jump on and tell us he's bitter and sweet.
Yeah, I know. I just like was yarning with him, and I just dropped a link, but I don't think he's
He
able to
can't.
get in right now.
I was thinking of ringing him, hold him up to the speaker. That's all
You
right.
could,
So,
but
I
yeah,
hear,
this has been this. I mean, if anything, what I wanted to do with the bitter and sweet was have like a place where I could share experiences, but have fun at the same time. And
yeah,
it's always a blast yarning with you.
yeah, it's always good to be with you. We make good team, Jules. I
Yep, yep.
think so, anyway. Um,
So
yeah,
yeah, so I've got work in the morning and I got a busy day tomorrow, a fun,
yeah,
exciting, adventurous day tomorrow.
tomorrow's a very exciting day. Yeah, you're going to tell us about it, or you're going to tell us after? Afterwards.
Well, I mean, I don't think many people will be like looking at this prior because I'd put no notification or nothing, but it's a sweet story. I've been listening to a particular band for 40 some odd years, and I'm going on a podcast tomorrow night with a guy from the UK, and I am going to be talking all about the B-52s.
Yo,
So I just did a little reflecting, and it's like, wow, I
From
mean, the
that.
music, the harmonies, the vibes, the instruments, the old memories. It's gonna be fun.
It will be, and I can't wait to see it. And can we, yeah, something for us to talk about next time we get together?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. As soon as I find the link and everything, I will drop it in KBS Discord, and I have a couple of people that I'm gonna send a direct link to. And if anybody else between now and tomorrow at 3:30, if you guys want me to drop you a direct link, get a hold of me if you're in KBS Discord, or if you're not in KBS Discord, shoot me a message.
But don't worry, I'll get it back on here so you can hear all about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and again, it's been a fun weekend. Thank you for having me on what would have been you and Polly's show, and I'm glad
Oh,
that I was
so yeah.
able to come in and spend some time with you. And last night, I apologize for leaving so soon. I had planned or I had wanted to do a Discord discussion, and
Yeah, that's all
dinner
right.
just did not agree with me, and I was better suited sleeping it off.
It's
So,
okay.
but yep, and today was a good day. So it's been a good weekend, and yeah, and thank you for being part of it.
Thank you. What was I going to say? Yeah, I'm thinking we should bring the discussions to this platform, but we have to wait for everyone to be teched up. And what was the other thing I was going to say?
Let's
Yeah, so
not
keep an eye out for
talk
us,
about
girls. We're going to put some more shows together, well, whether it be here in Bittersweet or on my channel, Luna.
yeah, because
Um,
I'm still totally on board for well, I
that
can't. I want to tell people, and I don't want to tell
day,
people
not until I get it ready because
because
the other day I was yes and today I'm no, so
yeah.
I've still got to
So
nut it all out.
all I
But
can say is for anybody still with me and Luna, thank you for joining. This has been a super fun like introduction to the bitter and sweet, and I couldn't have picked anybody better than my sister from another mister
yeah,
to do
thank
this with
you.
me. So,
Okay,
and
well,
I'm looking forward to more yarns and catching up and hanging out with you. So, but yep, we've been on for a hot minute, so I think I'm gonna like pull the plug on it
thank you.
tonight. But thanks everybody. Thanks for coming out and catch us, and be sure to catch Luna on her channel. It's called Luna.
Yeah, boring Luna. Just Luna. But
But
yeah,
no,
it's 101 Luna. So if you want to find
yeah,
it,
no, she's got some good stuff there. She's got from time to time this guy named Naysay pops by, and
yeah,
he's always an interesting fella. And be sure to check out Kitchen Chronicles with her and Carl.
we've got to get them back up running. That's with my partner. They can
So,
be
so
interesting.
yeah, I mean,
Married.
definitely lots of fun stuff on Luna's channel. So, but yeah, be sure to check her out. And until I'm on again, peace out, everybody. And if nobody has told you that you are loved, let me tell you, you are loved today. Have a good one, everybody. Love you lots.
Yellow.
Yellow.